and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Akir. The Sensex hits a lifetime high today, along with the Nifty well above the mark of 11,000 at this point in time, not too far away from a lifetime high for that. And as you can see here, we're looking at a 75-point up move, and the large bulk of these gains is led by Reliance Industries. In fact, in terms of points, we've seen Reliance contribute to as much as half of the kind of gains that we saw in up move on today's day of trade. That's followed by gains in BPCL along with some of the other OMCs. Bajaj Finance also picking up steam once again, and Larsen & Toubro along with some of the pharma names not too far behind. We have weakness in UPL hitting another 52-week low. Vedanta and Bajaj Auto along with Infosys bearing down on the indices, but today's day of trade was defined by what Reliance Industries has done for the benchmark index. Coming down to the broader markets, while most of the session we did see steady gains for the broader market indices, it was only in the last 1.5 hours, as you can see here, and this is the NSE 500 index, we saw a sudden drop, and that's the time when we actually also saw a significant change in the advanced decline ratio, which eventually turned out on at least the NSE 500 for 2 gainers against 3 losers. On the gaining end, however, we do have Sonata Software, Balrampur Chini, along with Interglobe Aviation, as well as Jet and SpiceJet also gaining on account of fall in crude. But on the losing end, we have stocks like 8K Miles Software continuing its grind downwards, PC Jeweler, some profit taking in Delta Corp, along with some of the other usual suspects like Quality, Manpasand Beverages and Wakrangi. But on the whole, you know, we are keeping tab on how the broader markets are doing in tandem with something like your benchmark index, and we just kind of have to wait and watch as to whether or not which of these indices actually starts moving in tandem with the other. That said, let's bring in our markets editor Neeraj Shah to give us a better perspective. Neeraj, confusing trends here.
Yeah, I guess we spoke about this. Me and you were having this conversation yesterday as well.
Right.
So don't quite know. ITs, of course, stopped performing altogether today. The mid-cap IT was doing well. But, you know, Reliance Industries won single-handedly, really, in a manner of speaking,
yes,
propping up the index. The key would be 2 or 3 things. One, if indeed Infi numbers come out well and there's a further leg up to IT, I think HCL Tech might have a small reaction tomorrow if indeed the price or otherwise is attractive. But it's a tiny tune in terms of weightage. It doesn't really impact too much. The second question, Agam, to ask is that there have been now a 5-day-old rally. I mean, yesterday's a flat close notwithstanding, we've been in the green for the last 5 days at least, if not longer. At some point of time, the trading bulls will take a breather. Now, is the day coming tomorrow remains to be seen. Right. The global markets, as we shut shop, were doing rather well. So about 1/4% to 0.5% for almost all the European indices. Dow futures were up about 0.5%. So that end of the market is secure. Maybe at some point of time some profit booking emerges. We don't have too many results to play around with today and tomorrow as well. Infi probably comes out in the latter half. So maybe some more volatility and then maybe some bit of profit booking at the close of the week. Let's see. The only thing is, and I'm sure you will make our viewers hear that traders by and large seem to be continuing to remain bullish for the near term as well. Let's hope that turns out to be true. Well, let's hope so. Thank you, Neeraj, for joining us on that one. But that said, what are our technical analysts telling us about the levels that we need to keep an eye on? This is what they're saying. Listen.
I think as long as the breakout is intact, that is 10,900 and above, I think I would like to be long on an index perspective. As far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, as long as the Bank Nifty is above the 26,700 level, I think I'll be long on a Bank Nifty as well.
Once it gaps up, it's difficult to take any trade, but anyone who is long from the lower levels, for them, as long as Nifty is above 10,900, it is bullish and it can go towards the previous high, which is near 11,170, or maybe even cross it. So the level which I'm looking for any weakness to come in is 10,900. Below, till it is above that, it is bullish.
Right, so let's just talk about the Sensex a little more, considering it has hit a lifetime high, and we have Yatin Mota who's joining us to give us a little more about what the significance is. Yatin?
Agam, if you look at the Sensex, clearly we have seen a strong level, almost a record high level for the Sensex. Now, what really matters is Sensex performance versus the global indices. And if you look at various indices, especially the BRICS indices, we have seen India outperform most of the regional peers like China as well as Brazil. All of these, other indices ex-Russia are down in double digits, whereas we are almost flat on a dollar term basis. Of course, the trend is slightly reversed when it comes to the global markets. We have, the mature markets like DAC, CAC, FTSE, the US markets, which is NASDAQ and Dow Jones, where we have seen an underperformance in dollar terms, for the Sensex. So, when it comes to the, domestic, peer set or the regional peer set, and the emerging markets, India is well positioned itself in terms of returns. But when it comes to the global markets, clearly we have underperformed. And also, what the trend is that only 4-5 stocks on the Sensex have been able to deliver or probably contribute significantly. The likes of HDFC Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Infosys, TCS, and Reliance. These are the stocks which have contributed to nearly 2,500 points on the Sensex. And more importantly, if you look at the laggards on the Sensex, we have the likes of Tata Steel, the banks, SBI and ICICI have contributed adversely, and also Tata Motors and Bharti Airtel have taken away 300 points from the Sensex on a YTD basis. So clearly, if you look at the trend, the concentration is really with TCS and HDFC Bank, which have contributed nearly 1,000 points on a YTD basis to the Sensex.
Absolutely. So TCS out there along with HDFC Bank, which will be in focus. And of course, don't forget Reliance Industries as well. Thank you, Yatin, for joining us and giving us those details. And speaking of Reliance Industries, we have Soumit Sarkar who's joining us to give us a little more details on what's going on with Reliance.
But it was only Reliance that has aided this rally in Reliance Industries market capitalization. If you see from 2010 to 1st September 2016, Reliance Industries market capitalization was largely range bound. But since the announcement of Reliance Jio, the market capitalization of Reliance Industries has doubled and it is now more than 6.9 trillion rupees, and it has crossed the 100 billion US dollars mark. And this is mainly on the back of the strong subscriber addition that Reliance Jio saw. It added nearly 21.5 crore users in the first 22 months. That is nearly 1 crore user every month that the company has added. Along with that, Reliance Jio became profitable. They launched Jio Phone. They've also announced the launch of broadband and the set-top TV box. Along with that, the core refining business of Reliance Industries, now that is also performing very well, because the refinery of gas cracker plant and the petcoke gasification plant that are fully stabilized now, and the full benefits of these two plants are expected to come in this financial year, which will in short aid Reliance Industries EBITDA by around 34%. This is what the analysts are expecting. Along with that, analysts are also expecting the company to generate free cash flow for the very first time in the last 6 years. Now, if you see from over the last 5 years, the company's cash flow were negative on the back of the heavy capital expenditure plans of the company. But now, as the capex has been done, the company is expected to generate free cash flow, which in turn could also lead to higher dividend payouts for the investors.
All right, Soumit, thank you so much for joining us and giving us those details. Of course, a lot of stocks out there, a lot of heavyweights out there, which have led to the strength in the benchmark indices. And with that, it's a wrap on the markets, but lots more lined up, so stay tuned in the Bloomberg Quint and we'll keep bringing you more.